Is he going to wake up? Is he not? I've got no idea. Oh, his eyes are open. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Sophie and I film lots of pregnancy and helpful content within pregnancy and becoming a new mum. So today's video is recovering from a C-section. So I had an emergency C-section 2.5 weeks ago now. Obviously I didn't know I was going to end up with one. I wasn't very prepared for one. It was sort of the last thing on my mind. I just honestly did not ever imagine that I would end up having one. But all in all, I have actually been okay. It was not a bad procedure. If you've seen my labour and birthing vlog, you will know that I was actually quite positive about it. But recovery is a long slog. So I've not done that bad, I don't think. I'm doing alright. I pretty much feel like I'm back to normal now, 2 weeks down the line, which I don't know whether it's a good thing or not, because obviously it is major surgery and you need to try and recover as much as possible. So I'm just going to give you a few tips on how to recover well from a C-section and just a bit of an insight into what you get given to go home with. So firstly, I have to wear these pop socks 24 hours a day. I am quite naughty and I don't wear them during the day anymore because I'm quite active. So in the first week, when I pretty much spent the whole week on the sofa, I would wear them all day and all night, whereas now I just wear them on a night. I definitely feel like this video is going to be interrupted and I'm going to have to come back to it. So yeah, pop socks, we have to wear these for 6 weeks. It's obviously just to prevent clots and blood clots, so it is really important to wear them. I do need to be a little bit better, so I've got 3 pairs of these and I'm actually going to put them on today because I'm not doing a lot today. So I wear them on a night and then I'll wear them during the day when I'm not doing a lot, but I've probably not worn them during the day for about a week now, especially when the weather's really warm. Obviously they're really hot and annoying. He says, "Mum, I'm awake, what are you doing?" Secondly, I got sent home with these, which are iron tablets, so my iron levels dropped quite low. So I think I've got about, there's 28 tablets in here and I had 2 packs, so I've probably got like maybe 10 left to take. So I have to take these twice a day, so I just take one in the morning and one in an evening. And then obviously the standard ibuprofen and paracetamol. So luckily I only felt like I needed these for about a week, and I do have to keep reminding myself to take ibuprofen because obviously they do help with like inflammation, but I don't take paracetamol anymore because I'm not in pain and I don't feel the need. So a lot of people, if you're watching this and you've had a C-section or you're going to have a C-section, then a lot of people try to rotate their ibuprofen and paracetamol. So they'll take 2 ibuprofen and then in 2 hours they'll take 2 paracetamol, and then rather than taking them together, so they will like rotate their pain relief. I didn't feel like I ever had to do that, but ibuprofen was literally needed so badly in that first week. I then also got given these injections, which are called Fragment injections, and they are to be put into my stomach, so the fat in my stomach, and they are to also help with blood, I think it's blood thinning. I think they help to thin your blood. They're not very nice and I'm not afraid of injections or anything, but I think just doing it yourself is quite difficult, and I'm not here to put you off and scare you, but if you have a C-section, you 100% will be sent home with these injections. So either get used to doing them yourself or get someone else to do them. I personally would rather do it myself than get someone else to do it to me. My midwife also said I can do it in my leg, but I've just stuck to doing it in my stomach. So I am going to show you how I do this. So I will warn you when I add that clip. If you don't want to watch it, then you can just skip 10 seconds ahead. So they are the last things that I got sent home with. So obviously I got sent home with these Fragment injections, iron tablets, and then ibuprofen and paracetamol. Right, I think I'm going to have to come back to this video because he is 100% waking up. Okay, I'm back and he is asleep, and hopefully he will stay asleep for quite a while. He tends to have a nap at this time of the day. It's about 12 o'clock. So hopefully he will stay asleep for the rest of this video. So I can't remember where I was actually at. So we have the ibuprofen, the paracetamol, the iron tablets and the Fragment injections. So this is my last Fragment injection. I've been saving it for filming this video. So I'm just going to show you now a 10-second clip of me injecting this. And if you don't want to see it, then please just skip ahead or pause and just pull the video along. Obviously, I know not everyone wants to see it, but I also just think it's a really good thing for people to see who are due to have a C-section or end up having one, and just sort of to help you feel more comfortable with it, because I know that not everyone likes injections and not everyone likes needles, but unfortunately when you've had a C-section you have no choice but to use these, because obviously it's a very, very important thing to help thin your blood. So if you don't use them, then you could end up being in a really bad situation. So first things first, you need to take this lid off, and that is the size of the needle. And then all I'm going to do is grab some fat, push the needle in, and then just gently, slowly push in the fluid. Pull it out. Done. It does sting a little bit after, and then this little lip here is just to hide the needle, and then that's done. So it does sting a tiny bit after you've done it, but I just kind of think that obviously they're beneficial for me, so as much as it hurts and as much as it stings, I kind of have to just get it done. So now I'm quickly going to talk about things that I personally find have helped me to recover that I haven't been given by the hospital or been given by the midwives. So first thing are these turmeric tablets. I can't really pronounce turmeric. Turmeric is really, really good for inflammation, and obviously you are quite inflamed when you've had a C-section because you've had everything cut open. So they obviously cut through layers of fat tissue and layers of skin and layers of muscle, and that is how they get the baby out. So they literally have to cut through everything to get that baby out. Once they stitch you back up, obviously that muscle tissue has parted and it kind of has to bond back together. So everything is inflamed. Obviously you've been cut open. I still have a lot of numbness in that area now, and obviously it's over 2 weeks since I had it done. So these are by a company called HealthSpan, and I just take one of these every single morning, so it helps with inflammation and repair. And then I also take a glass of orange juice every morning, and I try to have one orange a day because vitamin C is also really good for helping our bodies repair and helping repair tissues. I do usually take vitamin C tablets, but I have actually run out, so I'm just doing orange juice and an orange because there's plenty of vitamin C in there as well. And then lastly, I take a hydration tablet every single day. So drinking plenty of fluid is so important, especially postpartum anyway, but if you've had a C-section it can really help you recover quickly. So these are the High Five 0 calorie hydration tablets. So they're just electrolytes. So I pop one in a bottle of water every morning, and it just obviously helps with hydration. Honestly, the things we have to do mid video, this little guy wanted picking up, didn't you? So one of the other things I've been using is the My Expert Midwife Spritz for Bits. So my friend actually gave this to me because she never used it, but I was going to buy it anyway, obviously for my bits if I had stitches or anything like that. But I obviously ended up with the C-section, and they told me that you can pop this on a C-section scar. So what I did in the first few days after I took my wound off was my wound dressing, sorry, should I say. I sprayed onto bits of tissue and then I just dabbed it, whereas now I feel like, because my scar doesn't have any pain from it, because in the first sort of week you will feel a lot of tugging and pulling, I literally just spray it straight onto the wound and then obviously put my knickers on. So I do it in a morning and then on an evening as well. So that is one thing that I use, and I would definitely recommend. This little guy is not playing games. Are you? No. So I've shown you everything that I take supplement wise, and a lot of you who are watching this, and if you end up with a C-section, do not suffer. Like, it is hard work and you will feel pain. You will feel like you will never ever get better again. You will feel like you will never feel the same again. I remember I had my C-section on the Saturday and I woke up on the Sunday and I felt like I'd honestly been chopped in half and run over. And that's not to scare anybody, that is just how I genuinely felt. A lot of people feel like that, but 5 days down the line I felt like a different person. 2 weeks on from then, obviously how I am now, I feel pretty much back to normal. So it's really important to rest, really important to rest, but also it's important to get moving. So if you just sit on the sofa or stay in bed for 5 weeks, your muscle is just going to seize up around your scar tissue. Whereas if you keep gradually moving, your muscle's going to get used to movement and used to stretching, but obviously we don't want to stretch too far. So things we need to avoid are like putting our hands up above our head and stretching our stomach. So putting the washing out if your washing line's really high. Picking up anything that's really heavy or heavier than your baby. So they do say that you can only pick up the weight of your baby for the first 6 weeks. But because I am quite fit before I had a baby, I do feel like I can pick up a few more heavier things, and if you're watching this you might feel the same. So I just think you have to just go off your own body. Obviously the information and the aftercare that they give you in the hospital is based off everybody, so they have to just give general advice, but everyone is obviously different. So I do feel like I can lift a few more things than maybe the average person without feeling like I've done any damage. But I would never lift the pram, or I would never lift a full washing basket, but I might lift him and the sleeper head together, or I might lift a half full washing basket. And they even say that you shouldn't pick up a kettle full of water, but I have done that as well, because to me it doesn't feel heavy at all and I don't feel any kind of pulling. As soon as I do something that I feel pulling in my stomach, I will stop doing it. So for example, the washing, if it does feel really heavy, I will just drag it on the floor rather than picking it up. The more you push yourself to do, the harder it will be to recover from your C-section. But it's just so important to stay as active as possible without damaging yourself. So I went on a walk, I think I was 3 days postpartum, went round the supermarket. I just walked really slowly. I think we was in there for about 5 minutes, and then the day after that I walked around the block, which was about the pace that I was walking at was about a 20-minute walk, and then I've just gradually walked more and more. But the lifting thing, I try not to lift anything. I try to have days where I just sit and watch TV and just chill and let my body rest. And also sleep is very important, which is ironic because you've just had a baby and it's not that easy to sleep, but the biggest recovery of anything is sleep. And I feel like I got quite lucky because the night in the hospital I slept quite well, because I was out of it on all the drugs and he was out of it on all the drugs, so he actually didn't wake up that much. And then our first night at home he didn't wake that much either. I think he did like 5 hours. So I do get about 6 hours of sleep a night. So I do not nap in the day at the minute. I don't feel the need to do that. But if you have had a C-section or you're due to have a C-section and your baby is not sleeping, then please make sure that you sleep with your baby during the day. Most babies will sleep on average about 6 to 8 hours across the day, so that is plenty of time for you to sleep. I know it's difficult because you want to get stuff done, you might have loads of presents to put away, you have visitors, you need to make some food, you want to make sure that you stay on top of housework. But please, in those first 6 weeks, make sure that you are putting yourself first. Forget about the housework, get your friends to do it, get your parents to do it, get your husband, your partner to do it. Just ignore the mess, ignore what you would usually tidy up, ignore what you would usually do, and just get some rest. Like I said, because I sleep on a night, I don't feel the need to do that, but I still have those days where he will be asleep on me and I'll just be chilling and watching TV. So rest and recovery is the most important thing after a C-section. So I remember when I went in to have the C-section, and obviously I got told I was going to have a forceps delivery, and then they told me I'd be having a C-section, and I just felt so relieved after the contractions and the pushing phase that I was numb from the waist down. it was nice to just not feel anything. I felt super chilled, and I just remember turning around to Josh and saying, I'm just going to do this every time now. Like, every time I get pregnant, I'll just book in for a C-section. It'll be absolutely fine. Obviously, I can't feel anything. I'm numb and I can't see anything. They pull this baby out, still can't feel anything. When you get stitched back up, you can feel something. It does literally feel like they are doing the washing up in your stomach, because I remember just pulling a bit of a cringy face, and the doctor said to me, can you feel that? And I said, I can't feel pain, but I can feel something. And he said, oh, like someone's doing the washing up in your stomach. And that is honestly how it feels. It's a very, very, very weird sensation. Obviously, when they cut you open, they literally just cut you and pull the baby out. But then when they're coming to stitch you up, they are fully ragging you around to like pull you and stitch you up. So obviously, anyway, I couldn't feel anything other than that sort of weird... Sorry, there's a bin man. Other than that sort of weird sensation. And then I got taken into a recovery room where they take your temperature and your blood pressure about 3 times across half an hour. Obviously, they just want to check that you've reacted well to the surgery, and I think they took my blood as well to see if anything had happened. And they obviously have to put a catheter in you because you are numb from the waist down, so you can't feel anything. And then they also obviously have to see how much blood that you've lost. So obviously that was like the day of the surgery, and then I woke up on the Sunday, which was the day after, and a midwife came in and said to me, I'm going to take your catheter out and I want you to get up and I want you to walk to the toilet. So she said, I want you to swing your legs round off the bed, stand up and walk to the toilet. Wow. I just remember gradually swinging my legs round. The only way I can explain is you will literally feel like you have a fat rubber tyre sat in your stomach and stretching all your skin out. It's heavier than, you feel heavier than pregnancy. So I remember getting up, I couldn't even stand up straight. I was literally like this, and I was holding onto my stomach, literally walking like this slow. And it took me about 10 minutes to walk to the toilet, sit on the toilet, try and have a wee, and then come back. In the meantime, he's just fast asleep in this little crib. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, as if I actually thought I would do this again. The day after C-section surgery is just not very nice at all, but it will get better. So by day 2, I was still the same. I really struggled to sleep. It really hurt for me to turn onto my side because I just felt like there was so much weight pulling down onto my stomach. And then by day 3, I felt a lot better. That's when I went walking around a supermarket. And gradually, every single day, I felt better. Gradually, I've made myself do more. And gradually, I've obviously caught up on lost sleep and tried to recover. So I would 100% have a C-section again. But I just know that those first 2 to 3 days are really, really difficult. So if you've just had a C-section and you are watching this and you are literally day 1, day 2 post-surgery, please, please, please know that it will get better. You will feel better in a matter of days. So it is really hard work in those first few days, but I honestly can't even tell you how much better I feel 2 weeks down the line. I basically feel back to normal, but I do have to remind myself that I've had major surgery, and you have to remind yourself that you've had major surgery as well. So we can't do everything that we want to do, even if it feels like it's okay. So lastly, the doctor did say to me that you cannot drive for 6 weeks, but that is general advice. But she said as soon as you feel like you can do an emergency stop, then you can drive. She said it might be 3 weeks, it might be 4 weeks. She said, but you have to make sure that you definitely could do an emergency stop without feeling a sort of pull movement. And I'm obviously 2 weeks down the line now, and I don't know if I could do an emergency stop. Obviously, I've not got in my car, but I think I'm going to give it at least another 2 weeks before I attempt to drive, because also you've got to think I would need to put his car seat in the car and lift him in the car seat. I've carried his car seat low down, but I've obviously not like lifted it up, and because we have a 4x4, I obviously need to lift it quite high to get him in. So for me, I think it's the actual lifting of him in the car seat that I would find the most difficult rather than actually driving. I also got told we can go out on a walk, so she did say to be as active as possible, which obviously I've tried to do. She just said as long as you're not going on 5-mile walks, which I wouldn't be able to do anyway, so that's absolutely fine by me. But she did say the more active you are, the quicker that you will recover. But on the other side, we obviously need to make sure that we are having plenty of rest as well. Eating well as well, so eating plenty of protein, plenty of fruit and vegetables, and just eating good food. Obviously I'm still snacking on little bits here and there, but I'm trying to eat 3 good meals a day, and I'm trying to have veg at least once a day, and I probably have an orange, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries every single day as well. So it's just eating well, drinking plenty of water. Obviously I've stated that anyway, and staying really hydrated will help you to recover quick. The more crap you eat, the harder it will be for you to recover. You're not feeding your body any nutrients that's going to help it to recover and come out the other side. So thank you so much for watching my C-section recovery video. If you have any questions on C-sections, please do not hesitate to ask me. You can either follow me on Instagram and pop me a DM, or you can just pop a comment in the section below and ask me anything that you want to ask, and I'll be happy to help. I will be happy to give you as much information as possible, but hopefully you all understand a C-section a little bit better. And if you have anyone you know who's had one, or you know anyone you know who's having one, please make sure that you offer as much help as you can. Just either cleaning their house, cooking them some food, helping them to sleep, and watching the baby, just so that they can recover quicker. So please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to upload at least 1 video a week now. Obviously having a newborn baby is hard work. I've got no makeup on, my hair isn't great, but that is just the reality of being a new mum to a new baby. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.